the Rhino for your survival skills tip of the day. The tip of the day is on crisis rehearsal. You know, when I was a police officer, they used to train us a lot on crisis rehearsal because you never know what you were going to get or expect when you go to a call or you go up to a car asking for their driver's license. So we would always be trained in crisis rehearsal, understanding and thinking in our mind the potential threats that we had. You know, it's basically just coming up with a planned reaction to a certain event. Now, how can you use this in your life as a prepper and in your everyday life? Well, you know, there are crises all over the place, and most people have no idea how to handle anything. In fact, I pretty much think people are sheep, and they don't think anything bad is ever going to happen to them. That's always somebody else. Yet they'll sit there and think that they're going to win the lottery. Well, this is just a different kind of lottery, the lottery of crime or the lottery of a disaster. And planning for it mentally is one of the ways that we can cope when the chips are down and things are going bad. You know what? We've never had an EMP in the United States, so there's really not a lot of ways that you can prepare for that, except in your mind. You know, what's going to happen. You should read a lot of books on like EMP or whatever your disaster that you're preparing for is. Read books on that so that you can see what other people have prepared for, and that way you understand what's to come in the event of an EMP disaster or an economic collapse or whatever your choice or your thoughts on what a disaster could be. You know, when you think about it, what's going to happen? You know, what if a disaster happens and somebody comes to your door asking for food? In your mind, what have you planned to do about that? Do you give them food? Do you point a gun at them and tell them to go away? Do you shoot them? What are you thinking of that you should do? What happens if somebody kicks in your front door and starts taking your preps, or kicks in your front door and during an everyday scenario and you just sit there and look at it? And that's typically what's going to happen, is we're going to freeze if we don't have a plan. So, crisis rehearsal, very important. Think about the things that could happen to you in your life, like crime, or in your prepping life. You know, what scenario could happen that, you know, the different things that could happen that you need to prepare for. When you do it that way, you'll make an instantaneous response to it. And you won't sit there freezing going, oh man, because that is no time to think about what to do in a crisis situation. This is one of the best tips that I can give to you. It works for the police. It can work for you. Crisis rehearsal. Start planning your responses to a crisis.